What's going on, guys? Boss6 here, back sharing a video, and today I have another album review for you guys, and one I have been anticipating ever since the band announced they were going to make this one. Of course, I'm going to be talking about, the newest studio offering from the Alice Cooper Band, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. This album comes out on the on the 25th of July. Excuse me, I just got done eating. On Ear Music. I'm not 100% sure what this label is, but this is overall the band's 8th studio album, but this is actually Alice Cooper in terms of a solo, or in terms of total, like his 30th album, which is pretty insane if you think about it. But, yeah, this is an interesting one because this is the first time since 73 that the band has actually released an album, because their last one was Summer of Love. They came out in 73, so it's been about a little over 50 years since they last made an album together, and actually features the original lineup of the guys, which is very, very, very cool. But they actually have one of the members show up on this album here a little bit. But, yeah, it's the first album since 73, because after Muscle of Love, the band basically split up, and in that same year, Alice would actually start a solo career till what he's doing to this very day, with a little album you may have heard called Welcome to My Nightmare. So, a little bit of interesting trivia right there. And it's formed to actually form in 1964 in Phoenix, Arizona. And I believe these guys were actually classmates, I believe, because they went to the same school and they decided to form a band, which is pretty cool if you ask me. But yeah, it's been a little over 50 years since their last album, which is unique, and I'm actually wearing an Alice Cooper shirt myself. And as someone who has seen the man live and is planning to go see him live again next month, I have become a big fan of this guy, and mainly his, his band as well, but mainly the solo career of Alice, because, I mean, it's Alice fucking Cooper. What else do you want me to say about the man? He is a legend in his own right. And actually, a coworker of mine, he was really hyping up this album, especially the opening track, which was the first single, Black Mamba. And right from the get-go, it's a little atmospheric. There's a bit of a moody beginning. Alice is doing like some kind of haunting spoken word that he typically does, but I really love the bass in this song in particular. Like, the bass throughout the whole album is very prominent in the mix, and I'll get to the production here in a little bit. But it's groovy. There's a little bit of a Rolling Stones vibe on this album, which the band did incorporate back in the 70s when they were starting out. Like, a bit of that kind of, like, psychedelic rock kind of style, which I think is really nice. But it's really damn good stuff. The lyrics are awesome. It's typical Cooper. Cooper is always pretty well known for his lyrics as well, but that's really cool. Then we get into Wild Ones. Very, very, very catchy, and catchy is kind of the theme throughout this whole album. There are some kind of more moodier kind of tracks here and there, but for the most part, this is a pretty, pretty catchy album. Then we get to Up All Night. It's basically talking about an erection, which is pretty funny. And again, it's typical Cooper, but a very heavy riff, almost kind of like a Sabbath-like riff in some ways, kind of a bit of a stoner rock kind of riff to it, but it's pretty heavy, which I really, really, really do like. And the riff work throughout this whole album is very, very, very solid. It's nothing new, but I do like how simplistic but yet effective that the riffs are. Then we get to Kill the Flies. It's more moody. It's got a cool solo. I kind of like how the solo kind of just fades, not fades. It like the guitar nearly cries on the solo, which is pretty, pretty, pretty cool if you ask me. But yeah, more of a moodier track too, and Alice says, "I hate flies." You know, that's always kind of fun. Then we get into One Night Stand. Now, this one might be a bit weird for me to say, but this feels like an Unto Others like track. Like, it's a little like moodier, like almost gothy in a way. Like, it's a bit of a gothic like track. in terms of the style that it goes for, like, you can kind of tell this could be an Unto Others track, and I don't think anyone would really disagree with them, which I think is pretty cool. Now we get to Blood on the Sun. This is a very interesting one because it's the longest track in the entire album, a little over 6 minutes, which is not really common for Cooper. Like Cooper, he typically makes his songs like 3 to 4 minutes, and occasionally he'll go past 5 and even 6. But this was one of them. It's very melodic. It starts off a little balladish at the beginning, and then transitions into a nice kind of rock song. There's a nice, interesting drum march groove towards the midsection, and then that's when the guitars just start going off. It's kind of an odd song, too, because it kind of stops at the midway point, and then it sounds like another song is playing, but it's actually a continuation of it. I mean, I like it, but I can understand why people are a little bit turned off by that in particular. Then we get to Crap That Gets in the Way of Your Dreams. Yeah, that's an actual song title. This is one of my least favorite tracks on the entire album. I don't know. The lyrics are a little dumb, and it really reminds me lyric-wise of Flush the Fashion. Way back in the late 70s to early 80s, that's when Cooper was going through his new wave phase, especially, like Zipper Catch a Skin. That's when fucking Cooper had his blackout period, and he was hitting a crack pipe. Yeah, Cooper has come a long way for us, ladies and gentlemen, but yeah, I don't know, just this song in particular is just very odd. Like, I don't know, I just like the lyrics. I get what Cooper is trying to do, but he even says hit a bong at one point, and it's a little funny, but also odd. It's a bit offsetting, if you ask me, but it's not bad. It's just, I don't know, I just felt like the lyrics just kind of took me out of the song, in my opinion. Then we get to Famous Face, again, kind of like I said with Wild Ones, it's very catchy. Money Screams, it's a bit of a poppy chorus. I'm not 100% sure how to feel about that personally. I don't know, I just felt like the chorus didn't really click with me. The rest of the song I thought was good, but I don't know, the chorus kind of took me out of it just a little bit. Then we get to What a Syd, S-Y-D. I'm not 100% sure what that's supposed to be. Very Schools Out-ish. Like, get a really reminiscent of, like, a Schools Out, like, it kind of reminds me of the song Blue Turk. I think that's what the song is called, especially with the bass. It really reminds me of that, which I really, really, really do like. But, yeah, I just think it has a very big Schools Out kind of vibe. Like, it felt like it could have been on that album in particular. Then we get to Intergalactic Vagabond Blues. It's a kind of a weird title, kind of silly, but it is catchy and it's fun as hell. It's obviously bluesy. There's a harmonica thrown in there at one point, and hey, I'm not going to complain. I don't mind some harmonica in my metal. I mean, fucking Black Sabbath did on The Wizard, so there you go. If it works for them, it works for Cooper right here, right now. Then we get to What Happened to You. This actually features Glenn Buxton, who used to be in the band before, I believe he was part of the breakup initially, but they brought him back here. Really reminds me of something off of Killer. Not Killers, not the Iron Maiden album, but Killer, the album that came out in 71, I think. You know, that tracks like All My Wheels or Be My Lover and all that good stuff. Or Under My Wheels, I should say. But yeah, that song really reminds me of something that could be on this album. There's a big Van Halen like riffs on this album. It may just be that guitar tone that Glenn uses, but it's very nice. I really, really, really dig that. It really sounds like something Eddie Van Halen would do. Then we get into I Ain't Done Wrong. It's got a bit of a kind of a funky, kind of off-time groove, but it kind of works a little bit, which I think is pretty cool. Then we get to See You on the Other Side, and no, that's not a cover of the song that the late, great Ozzy Osbourne did, and it's actually a tribute to Ozzy, because this was recorded before we unfortunately got the news that Ozzy passed. Yeah, I'm still trying to comprehend that. Like, we're still trying to heal from that loss in particular. But it's a ballad. It is sad, but it gets a little, the mood kind of changes towards the end of the song. But it's actually very nice. I think it's a very, very nice ballad, which Cooper's ballads are kind of hit or miss with me personally, but I actually really didn't mind this ballad, all things considered. Now, I talked about it when I talked about the bass at the beginning. I love the production on this album. Like Bob Ezrin, yes, Bob Ezrin is still producing albums to this very day. He's, I think, like, got to be in his late 70s, early 80s, or something like that. Because him and Cooper, they've been sticking around for a long time. Like, they've been, had each other's back for 50 years, which is insane to think about. But the production is actually really good. It's got a bit of a 70s vibe, but it's more modern, which I really dig. Like, Cooper sounds fucking incredible. Like he does not age. Like, his voice is not aged at all. But then again, he's always kind of had, like, the same monotone range that he has had for ever since he started his band. So Cooper always has his voice in check. But the rest of the guys sound good. I really love the drums on this album in particular. And again, the bass is actually pretty prominent on this album. Now, if I do have one complaint, well, technically two complaints, but it's kind of one and the same. The big complaint I do have, well, I wouldn't say big, it's kind of a minor one. You could have cut a couple songs off the album and you wouldn't miss much. Like, it's 14 tracks, it's over 50 minutes. You could have trimmed off some of the fat a little bit and make it like maybe 45 minutes. Maybe you could have done that personally. But, I mean, there was no flat out bad song. Like, the ones that I couldn't get into were Crap That Gets in the Way of Your Dreams, Kill the Flies, and I would probably say Money Screams. Those songs didn't do a whole lot for me personally. They're not bad, but if you would have cut them out of the album, you really wouldn't be missing all too much. But overall, I dig this record. I really did. And I mean, this might be the last one these guys ever do. But Cooper ain't going down until he's going to go down, or die in a way. But yeah, I dig this record. This is some killer stuff. Fuck it, I'm gonna give it a 4.25 star. I dig this record. I know some people are kind of, hit or miss when it comes to Alice, but I'm a big Alice Cooper fan, and I dig this record. I thought this is one of his, at least the band's one of their better albums too. Probably top 5, depending on who you ask. And yeah, I dig the record. Again, if they would have cut a couple tracks off and maybe save, time for some other tracks, I think this album would have been even better in my opinion. But it is what it is. We got what we got. What we got was a really damn good record. So 4.25 stars for me. So, folks, that is my review of the Alice Cooper's Band, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. What did you guys think about the sound? Let me know in the comment section below. And, yeah, again, it's still very odd to think that Ozzy is no longer with us, even though we knew he was going to go. It was just a matter of when. And, hell, I even said this to a few people. Eventually, when Cooper goes, that's going to be a pretty sad day, too, because this guy helped make hard rock and heavy metal become a little more prominent too. Like, Ozzy was kind of like the front runner from it, but Cooper had a helping in it too. Just people didn't give him a lot of credit for it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, tap that bigger subscribe button, and tap the bell so when I upload, you guys will be notified. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Most importantly, join the herd. Talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out.